Hello everyone and welcome back to another average review. Now, I've already made a video reviewing the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Spider-Man 2 Venom, but today I'm gonna take a look at someone else wearing that game's version of the symbiote. That's right, we're gonna be reviewing the Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2 Symbiote Spider-Man. Looking at the box, and it's pretty dang similar to the Venom box, just a lot smaller, obviously, and themed to symbiote suit Spidey. We can see this is Peter Parker in his black costume. On the side, we can see that same name and a picture of the suit in-game. On the side, a bigger photo of that suit, and on the back, we see a full body shot of the suit in the suit selection menu, along with the other figures in this wave, which are 3 versions of Miles, 2 versions of Peter, and Black Cat. Just saying, I'm really hoping we get a proper version of Peter's regular suit from this game, since we've gotten plenty of proper Miles, but the version of Peter's suit from Spider-Man 2 we got was just a repaint of Renew Your Vows that was missing a bunch of extra hands. But hey, enough about other figures. Let's take a look at this symbiote Spidey. Alright, taking this Spidey out of the box, and I gotta say, I actually really like Insomniac's version of the regular symbiote suit. I mean, all the regular details are there, the logo's pretty much the same. Same case with the eyes. Of course, it's a black suit with, the musculature on it. He does have white patches on his hands, but they are a bit different. They're triangles. Don't mind that. I think it looks pretty neat. But one thing I actually appreciate about this design that I don't actually usually like on superhero designs is the use of paneling and extra lines and stuff. I think it's done really well because, it's subtle, first of all, and it actually does recreate musculature, like with the abs right here, the armor plating on the abs. And it does make sense for the symbiote to be made to, protect Spidey. I don't feel like the plating or, texturing and stuff detracts from the design, at least on this figure. I will say, I am not a fan of what's going on with his, biceps under his shoulders, this weird, fleshy material. I don't really like that. Luckily, it's only on, this part of the arms, the neck, and for some reason, the back of the head. I don't get why that part isn't plated, since, you'd want to protect your head. Doesn't really matter that much. Overall, yeah, this is a pretty good-looking symbiote Spidey. It has, the details you'd expect. Just regular black bodysuit, logo, eyes, white patches, and a bit more, realistic flair, since, the Insomniac Spidey games, pretty realistic art style. But hey, enough about looks. Let's see how good the articulation is on this symbiote Spidey. Now, like a lot of recent, Hasbro Spidey figures, his head is on a dumbbell joint. He can look up this far, which is okay. He can look down this far, spin his head all the way around, and get a bit of tilt side to side. Surprisingly, he actually doesn't have butterfly joints, which, it's pretty weird to not have those on a Spider-Man figure. I do get why, though. They would kind of interfere with the sculpted-on logo right here. But still, I do kind of wish he had them. Either way, he does have the standard, Marvel Legends shoulders that can spin around and hinge about 90 degrees, which is pretty good. He's also got bicep swivel and double-jointed elbows with a pretty good bend, along with Marvel Legends wrists that can spin all the way around and hinge up and down. He's got a diaphragm joint and waist crunch that let him hunch forward this far and arch back a very good amount. That diaphragm joint also allows for twisting side to side and tilt, although both of those do kind of break up the spider logo. He's got the standard Marvel Legends hips that can kick forward about 90 degrees and get a pretty dang good split. He's got thigh cut, which gives you 360 rotation, along with double jointed knees with a pretty much perfect bend, along with boot cut, which, I have to admit, was integrated pretty well into the sculpt. I didn't even notice it at first. He's also got the Marvel Legends ankles, which can inch forwards, backwards, and pivot side to side. So overall, pretty decent articulation, but it is weird that this regular-sized Marvel Legends figure has less articulation than the massive Venom figure. I don't know, I thought that was kind of interesting. Moving on to the figure comparisons, and we of course have to start out with the standard male and female comparisons, Renew Your Vows, Spider-Man, and Spinneret. So if you own that one Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2 regular suit Spider-Man, unfortunately he's gonna be taller and bulkier than the symbiote suit Spidey. Just saying. We kinda need a proper one that's actually, in scale and sculpted like the other Spider-Man 2 figures. But for a Spider-Man that works surprisingly well for the symbiote Spidey, we have the No Way Home final swing suit. And yeah, the proportions and height match up, really, really well. In case you're wondering, here's what the Tom Holland head from that figure would look like on this body. I feel like it sits a little low, but if it just sat a little higher on the head, this would actually be a pretty good guess as to what the MCU symbiote Spidey would look like. But hey, for some villains that appeared in the PlayStation games, well, here's the comic versions of Doc Ock and Kraven the Hunter, Vulture and Scorpion. And for the first villain we see Peter fight in the original PS4 Spider-Man game, we have Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin of Crime. They actually did make a deluxe figure of the game Kingpin in his, black tuxedo. But I'm pretty satisfied with having this, retro card Kingpin as, the only Marvel Legends Kingpin in my display, since I think he's perfect as is. But for the most important comparison, here's symbiote Spidey with the Gamerverse Venom, and yeah, it's pretty interesting how different these two are despite, having the same symbiote. Even more so compared to, regular black suit Spider-Man and regular comic Venom. But for some comic versions of Spidey in the black suit and Venom, we have the Toy Biz Spider-Man Classic Symbiote Spidey and the Hasbro Marvel Legends Life Foundation 3-pack Venom. It is pretty crazy how different these two symbiote Spideys are, but there is about a 25-year difference between the two, so that makes enough sense. Also, hey, speaking of Toy Biz, here's the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Green Goblin. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see the video game versions of these two clash in, probably Spider-Man 3. Will I play it? Do I look like I can afford a PS5? Well, the answer to that doesn't matter because I wouldn't buy it anyways. I'm perfectly fine, watching someone else play it or something. Either way, probably gonna be cool to see the Insomniac version of the Green Goblin. But hey, as is tradition, here's the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Symbiote Spidey with Hit Monkey and Goliath. Now moving on to the accessories, and this Spider-Man has a pretty standard handful, but that's not a bad thing. It's the bare minimum thing. Throughout the video, I've had him with the pair of fists he came pre-packed with. He's also got a pair of wall-crawling hands. And of course, a pair of thwipping hands. Now, remember when I said this Spidey came with the bare minimum for a Spidey figure? Well, I was the tiniest bit dishonest. because he actually does come with this pretty cool symbiote web effect. I'm not exactly sure what's the intended way you wrap it around his hand, but I assume you just sort of squeeze it past these fingers and have it sort of be held on by his middle and ring finger with the web shooter hand. That's just my guess, because, I mean, it stays on pretty alright. I mean, hey, it's not the most exciting accessory ever, but I think it's pretty neat that it was included. Now let's talk about the price on this Spidey. Depending on where you buy him, he'll either set you back $25 or $30. And unfortunately, I paid the latter since I got him at the same GameStop I got that Gamerverse Venom at. So yeah, I'd have rather paid $25 since, I mean, that's the new standard price for a Marvel Legends since, like, I don't know, 22 maybe? 2022? I haven't exactly been keeping track of that, but either way, yeah, I don't get why GameStop is charging $30 for these figures, but hey, it's not the end of the world. Alright, let's talk about my final score for this figure now. Overall, I do like this figure. It's not one of my favorites, but I do think, objectively, it's a really good figure of the Spider-Man 2 symbiote costume. The sculpting, really good. Not much paintwork, but I mean, for what's there, it's pretty solid. I mean, the paint on the logo, the hands, and the eyes, pretty dang nice. The articulation, for the most part, really good. And he comes with some pretty nifty accessories. I do have to admit, though, does sting that this guy doesn't have any, like, butterfly joints or anything. Especially since they're pretty dang standard for really just any Spider-Man figure. I mean, a lot of people complain when a Spidey figure doesn't have butterfly joints, and that's for a reason. They provide some much-needed dynamicness, I guess, for the character. I guess that's the right word, if that's even a word. Also, in some places, this figure is a bit too pricey for my taste. I mean, $30? That's a bit much. That used to be what deluxe figures were priced at. Granted, that was a couple years ago, but still. Either way, I do really like this figure, and I think it pairs really well with the Gamerverse Venom. So thinking objectively, I'm going to give the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Symbiote Spider-Man a 9 out of 10. If you want a symbiote Spidey and you can't get your hands on, like, the retro-carded one or the recent Secret Wars one, this is probably your next best bet. It's pretty solid, comes with all the necessary alternate hands, and I mean, if you had to, you could probably sneak this guy into a comic display. So hey, everyone tuning in once again, first of all, thank you as usual, and of course, have a great day, 'cause you deserve it. Bye-bye.